I've been having some thoughts lately about content, YouTube, just the space in itself, just in general. And I thought I'd share some of those thoughts because I'm looking for your guys' opinions on it, your guys' feedback, and just wondering if anyone's feeling in the same space. I will preface this by saying, in no way am I complaining at all, and in no way am I wanting to stop making content. You guys have mentioned to me before that you like just when I sit and talk about things that are on my mind and just have honest conversations, I suppose, one-way conversations about things, and so I thought I'd do so. Because as of late, I've got real content fatigue, like more than ever. I go on YouTube, it all feels very much the same. I suppose big content creators, people that I've maybe followed for years, it doesn't hit the same. You feel like the relatability is gone, or to just another degree, you prefer maybe even watching smaller YouTubers or people perhaps you don't even follow, but watching individual videos as opposed to having channels that you follow. You just see what the homepage throws at you and then you just sit and watch it. And you might have like binging sessions, or you go down conspiracy rabbit holes, or you know, for some people it might be reactionary content or gaming content or whatever it may be, and then you kind of watch so much of it that you get sick of it and then you move on to the next thing. That's what I've been feeling like lately. And I couldn't really fully work out why that was, because I've been someone that has watched YouTube for years. I mean, when I was younger and I was like a teenager, I'd watch the likes of like UK YouTubers, Thatcher Joe, Zoella, that kind of bunch. And then like even other groups like Sidemen or whatever. Like I've followed lots of different YouTubers in different spaces. I mean, I follow like gardening channels, I follow like gaming channels, entertainment channels. I watch like different stuff, and I have done for years. But like the past 5 years, the content itself has become so echo chambery, if that's even the right word. And what I mean by that is it just feels like you're just stuck in a loophole of just the same content. It's felt more like that than it ever has. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I've found something out about my own channel, and it's now made it very clear to me why this has occurred with other big channels. The other day, I had to hop on to YouTube customer support. It was not a huge issue. There was a glitch on my YouTube studio, which is basically like my editing page. It's where you upload videos, change thumbnails, titles, all that kind of stuff. So it's like the behind the scenes, the back end of YouTube. Whilst I was working on that, I asked another question. This was, by the way, this wasn't for this channel, this was for Claudie TV. I asked them a little bit about my analytics and the state of my channel. And I basically said, my impressions are down over the past 6 months compared to what they were the previous 6 months before that. Is there any way you could tell me what's going on? Is my channel being restricted? Is there issues that I can resolve quickly that would actually help my channel out? Or is this just part of the algorithm? You know, there's nothing I can really do. And the main reason that I wanted to reach out is because I've been reacting to shows that contain certain things that YouTube doesn't like, because it wants squeaky clean content for its advertisers, which I understand. But obviously I include swearing in my videos. In some of the shows I watch, there might be gun violence or drug use or anything of those lines. So even though it's fictional content, I still wanted to make sure that doesn't cause ongoing restrictions or problems with the channel. That was mainly my concern. The feedback I got from YouTube support was, you're basically doing too many topics. So on Claudie TV, you're reacting to more than one show. There's a storm brewing. So recently, it's been Peaky Blinders, Amazing Digital Circus, and Spider Noir. And Spider Noir performed very poorly, and I was quite shocked. It was a new show, it was trending, it has Nicolas Cage in it. I thought it would be bigger than it was, and it just never hit an algorithm. But I also saw other reactors watching the show, and then their episodes would so they'd watch maybe up to 3 or 4, and then they wouldn't have any more on their channel, and I was like, that's weird. There's other reactors that aren't seemingly continuing that show. What the person at customer support suggested to me was basically picking what works and just going with that. So right now, if Peaky is the thing that has the numbers the highest, stop everything else and just do that, is basically what they're telling me to do. Whenever you upload a video, right, you operate on a 1 to 10 system. So the video goes live, and it's compared against your 9 most recent uploads. So if you get a 1 out of 10 performing video, it's performing basically the top spot of all your other 9 videos, so it's the best. If you get a 10 out of 10 position, it's performing the worst. And what it rates performance on is view count, click-through rate, which is basically how many people see it on their homepage or their subscriptions feed or whatever. How many of those people click on it? It's basically called CTR. So it's like overall impressions, click-through rate, viewership, watch time, so how long people are actually watching for before they click off of it. So obviously if you have really good click-through rate and you have really good watch time, YouTube pushes it and basically gives it more impressions. It shows it to more people. I could have a Peaky Blinders video that does really well, just because I might have more of that audience, and then I'll go to do a Spider Noir video, and because I have less of that audience, and a lot of my subscribers who aren't following the show don't click the video, it stopped pushing that entirely to what could possibly be a new Spider Noir audience. But what it also does, secondary to that, is if you have that performance issue for a long time, it starts restricting all other content on the channel. So overall, because I'm willing to try different shows and I'm willing to try stuff that isn't just a one huge trend, lightning in a bottle type topic, it overall restricts the entirety of my growth. I want to explain, I'm not complaining. This isn't an issue for me because I'm very happy with where the channel is. It's still growing, I'm still gaining subscribers every day. Nothing has gone from a creative standpoint, nothing's gone so terribly where I feel I need to intervene or change something. I am willing to tweak content if there's something that performs truly terribly. I'm willing to stop and pivot, but I don't want to change what I do because I'm very much enjoying what I do. And the numbers aren't so important to me that I'm willing to completely stop something or change things so entirely just to fit an algorithm, because that doesn't seem right. But more importantly, it's why YouTube feels so crap within the past 5 years, because big creators will see what video is performing at a 1 out of 10, right? When they upload a video and something performs amazingly, they're going to milk that, and they're going to milk that for everything it's worth. In 2020, we had the video game Among Us just became huge because it was a trend. Everybody jumped on a trend, which then meant everybody pushed the trend even further. And we're now about to see this with Mecha Chameleon, which is like a painting game. It's hard to describe, but this is like a big game at the moment. The issue with it, and why I don't think I'm a good YouTuber at the end of the day, is because I don't want to go down a path of something so I'm so one-track minded. Because eventually, like I feel right now towards the platform itself, people get sick of things. And I feel if you're a YouTuber who only does one thing, or is willing to talk about one topic, or play one game, or predominantly talk about one TV show, or one movie franchise, or, only talk Marvel or superheroes, or only do animated shows, or whatever, I feel you actually, although you'll probably grow quicker, you limit yourself massively in terms of your audience and how your audience perceives you. Claudie TV's doing its thing. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to keep going at the same pace and the same style that I was for the past 6 months. I'm just going to keep doing it for another 6 months. I've obviously got Silo, Ted Lasso, maybe some other shows coming up at the end of this year as well. So I'm going to keep doing what I know is working, not worry too much about a plateau, and just kind of ride the wave of it a little bit and then see how things go. Because I don't want to go changing something when I already know there's plenty of people that like that format, right? But with Claudie Corner, the reason that this has grabbed my attention so much is I've been trying a few different things. So I took a break early this year, and then I've come back now for about 2.5 months, right? I've been doing some gaming. I've done one of these sit-down videos before where I talked about, my 18 months as a YouTuber and how I felt about it all, and revealing the good, the bad, the ugly. That was a really good video for me to film, actually. I got a lot off my chest, but it made me feel very good, and although I can't reply to every comment, the feedback on it has been incredible, so thank you, everybody who did comment on that video. I've been trying some card openings. I've been trying a few different things, few different genres, different games than I was before, and I've seen growth. Channel's growing, channel's doing well, but I'm not seeing anything that's landing consistently, and I'm not seeing anything with clear pattern. So a part of me was okay, well, I enjoy doing all these things. Why don't I maybe create different channels? Because that's what other YouTubers do. They have a gaming channel where it's just one thing. and then they have like a card opening channel, and then they have a sit-down talking vlog style channel, and then they have their main channel, then they have a clips channel, right? Other YouTubers that are far more successful than me, and will always be far more successful than me, they do everything over multiple different spaces. And I suppose they narrow down on what works on one channel and then test things with another, so that if it doesn't work, it doesn't affect the previous channel. And the issue with that is not only are you managing so many different things on so many different channels, but I feel the audience that you develop on one then only knows you for one thing. So then what happens if they get bored of you for that one thing? And the reason that I'm saying this is, like, I've already had audiences be bored of me when I stop talking about one thing. Like, I've seen that before, and that's why I'm so hesitant about it, or making a shift, or trying to do things differently. Because I've already seen what happens when an audience gets really bored of you. It's not pretty. It doesn't go very well. And I don't know if I want to be a one-trick pony. This is why I wanted to make a video like this, where I just sit and talk about my perspective on it all, because I'm interested to see, what do you as audience members feel? Because in YouTube's algorithm, right, and their analytics, if you are a channel where your videos don't perform as well, and you have a lower click-through rate, but your subscriber rate stays high, it just means not everybody's going to watch everything you put out, because there's certain things that they prefer. To YouTube, I'm a weak channel. My channel's not worth pushing. But I feel to an audience, yeah, they may not like every video of yours, but actually they're probably glad you're just trying stuff, rather than wearing one subject completely thin. But that's my perspective as a creator, right? I could be very biased in that thinking, because I don't know what an audience would directly want from me. So I'm interested to see actually how other people feel about this. Obviously, YouTube has what's working for the platform, which is double down on what's working, milk it completely dry, and then pivot and do something else with the audience that you have. But I don't feel that's sustainable. I'll give you an example of this, right? My best performing content of the past, let's say, month, 4 weeks, as of right now, has been card openings. In terms of viewership, watch time, and just overall engagement and how it's been received, my best continuous new content that I've tested is card openings, right? So my brain started processing that as, okay, Claude, why don't you do more card opening? Why don't you become a card opening YouTuber? Give it a go. You know, if you're going to do something, do it properly. So then I calculated, how many boxes would I need to buy a month in order to become a fully fledged card YouTuber? And if I was to do 2 videos a week, and let's say on average, a cheap box would be somewhere around 100 and an expensive box would be somewhere around 300. So let's average it out at 200, you know, because of course that's cheap, even though it's not, obviously. And I do 2 videos a week, so that's 400. So let's say $500, roughly. I'll put it in dollars because it's easier for people to understand. $500. I would need to spend $2,000 a month on boxes of cards in the hopes that a channel would grow enough to cover the cost of the boxes of the cards. Do you see how weird that is? And the funny thing is, that's what card opening YouTubers do. They either have direct partnerships with companies and they're getting things free, or they're getting, you know, like an affiliate link, so they earn for every time that one of their subscribers clicks something, right? Which to me seems dire, but anyway. They're either getting stuff free, they're getting paid to promote the boxes that they are, or they are buying cases of cards, keeping a few, selling the rest in hopes that that covers the cost of the boxes, and then any ad revenue that they earn on top of it is profit. Bear in mind, the majority of their audience is teenagers, children, or silly adults that are highly susceptible and then would want to do the same thing, not realising how much it costs. Doesn't it feel weird? And, you know, that's an extreme example of content that requires a huge amount of investment in order to make the content. But it's kind of the same in anything. You'll see, like, clothing YouTubers that will talk about clothing hauls and all that kind of stuff. they're either getting the stuff free, they're getting huge discount, or they take it straight, they leave those tags on and they take it straight back afterwards. Since 2020, we've seen so many make money online content creators and business and finance and all these people telling you to hustle. And they talk about how they run YouTube channels and they make, 30k a month, 100k a month, when in reality they make their money from selling the course to try and tell you how they make 100k a month, even though they don't make 100k a month from their YouTube channel, they make 100k a month from the courses. Do you see how weird and swampy the whole place is? And for you as a small creator who is trying to do things the standard way, the way that everyone else does, you buy a game on Steam, you play it. You go to a store, you see some boxes of cards, you buy them, you open them. These are hobbies, these are pastimes, these are things you want to do when you got downtime. And yet to do them for YouTube, for I hate to say this, but like a performative element, or in the hopes of scaling from it, you have to do it to such an extreme quantity that it no longer is a hobby, yet you're still trying to sell it as a hobby. It feels weird, doesn't it? It feels really weird. And I, for the past couple of weeks, have been realising it's truly impossible for me to scale as a YouTuber by just doing one thing and trying to be as big as I possibly can, because one, I don't want to do that anyway. I've had a point where my channel was flooded with views and comments and everything was much more heightened than it is now. It's not to say I would never deal with that again, it's not to say I'd never want that again, but that's not what I strive for. That's not the happiest I've been as a content creator, I can assure you. I'm actually probably the most content now. But I honestly feel the platform is failing itself, and it's failing its creators. Forgive me if I sound sniffly, by the way, all of a sudden. The wind's pushing pollen directly into my face, so I've sneezed about 8 times. I just feel the platform itself it's killing itself. It's ending its opportunity to be the space for the individual that just wants to share. Like, it's completely demolished that. And I think we can all see it. We can see that it's really hard for small creators to break out. And I am in the most fortunate of situations where it doesn't really matter how my channels fluctuate, because where I have my Patreon, I have the capacity to create some form of stability, which is just a lifeline. I cannot express to you how much of a lifeline it is. I don't know how any other YouTuber copes without direct form of financial support, I suppose. I suppose they take on things like sponsorships and brand deals, but that's never appealed to me because, why would I try and sell someone on a VPN? Here's another thing. Actually, speaking of sponsorships and brand deals, let me talk about this. I've been watching the World Cup lately, not truly intently, I've been busy with work, but I've been catching games here and there. And so because it's being hosted in America, I'm seeing a lot of ads. I don't know if anyone else is, but there's a huge amount of commercials. Why is Millie Bobby Brown trying to sell me a Brita water filter? Why is David Beckham selling me a barbecue? Also, why is every single basketball player or God knows who else, anyone in sport, why are they trying to get me on a gambling app? Or Polymarket, or some of these do these people not earn enough money? Stranger Things can't have been that bad for Millie, can it? Where's everyone's backbone? What's going on? This is where it almost gets me angry, and you'll see my tone shifted. I get so angry with people who are influencers, actors, singers, models, whoever the fuck, I don't know. I get so angry with them because what's wrong with, how much money do you need? I don't get where we're going with the entertainment space, and I suppose that's, although these are all rambled thoughts that are probably not coming together particularly coherently, but I'm doing my best. I don't understand where we're going. Let's just look at YouTube itself, because I could go and talk about cinema, god-awful amount of superhero movies, some of which I enjoy, but some of which I don't. Why we need more and more live-action remakes. Why are we seeing live-action Moana? Who asked for that? Who asked? Because find them, because I need to talk to them. Why is there so many people trying to make a buck as quickly as possible, even when they're already wealthy and quite well off? We're in a space, right, as small content creators, where if you are doing the content that, let's say 15 years ago, YouTubers that I would watch when I was a kid, right? If you do that content today, not only do you not grow in the same way that they used to by just actually making normal, authentic content that wasn't overly stimulating, it was just stuff you could sit there or put in, sit there and watch or put it on in the background, that kind of thing, you will actually be punished for it by the platform. Because if you are a YouTuber who is willing to try more than one thing, who is willing to maybe play a couple of hours of a game per week, but then also do a little bit of something else or show a different side of their life, all on one channel, and it's this little immersive space where there's lots of different things, and you're showing different areas of your personality, your life, whatever it may be, you're putting that all in one spot, YouTube actually goes, no, thank you. And I find that crazy, and I do not want this to come across like I'm complaining, because I think you can still grow on the platform. I don't think there's any true hindrance. I think it's just going to take longer. It might mean you have to stick it out a bit longer, and, will I, won't I? I don't know, because I don't know what happens in life. I don't know what other areas of my life might demand my attention. So I can only do what I can do, right? But I do find it fascinating, and this is why I don't think you're going to see YouTubers like we used to. Like, the YouTubers I grew up watching, was everyone from Zoella to, Thatcher Joe. Sidemen is a UK YouTube group. I grew up watching them. These are creators where, sure, their videos would have a certain format, but they would do different things. And yeah, they had more than one channel, but they would do different things. They would try stuff. You'd click their video because it's them, not because of the topic that they're talking about. You'd be like, okay, I'm interested to hear what they have to say about things, or I want to see them play this game, or them do this thing. In terms of the current algorithm, I'm concerned as to what that's going to do if we have a bunch of YouTube channels that are like TV channels, but it's only playing one show. I get why the platform would want to do that, but I don't think it actually is going to have a long-term positive effect. Say card opening YouTubers. They'll open 3 packs a week of boxes that each time they're opening a box, they are literally opening something that is £200, £300, £400, $200, $300, $400 of cards. It's cardboard, it's overpriced cardboard. It's fun, it's a hobby, I enjoy it, but I'm not going to ruin a bank account in the hopes of growing on an algorithm to hopefully win some people over enough so that they subscribe, so that I can get my money back through ad revenue. What? That feels weird. That doesn't make me feel good at all. I just feel there's so much fakery, and I was literally talking to a friend about this the other day. We were talking about the influencer voice and how it's even more prevalent now, where when you talk to people, they have a podcasty voice and they're just talking to you in conversation, but they're talking like they're being observed. It's really weird once you notice it. It's very, very hard to unsee it. You see it with kids as well, kids that grow up with that kind of content. They're not growing up on cartoons and movies, they're growing up on TikTokers and podcasters. They're picking up on that kind of personality where these TikTokers, influencers, their entire lives are observed. They're constantly living in this sort of Orwellian, I suppose everything they ever do is being looked at or judged or commented on or whatever. And so the young'uns, they start mimicking that behaviour, where they're almost constantly putting on a facade. It's almost like they're masking. I don't really know what the point is of this video. Listen, whenever I sit down and talk, I know you guys say you enjoy it because you just want to see me share opinions on stuff, but I almost get a bit nervous to talk about things because I don't want to come across like I'm ungrateful or complaining or not enjoying what I'm doing, because that's not the case. And I wouldn't sit here and film with intention of continuing a channel if I didn't feel like I could do so. So I don't want that to come across the wrong way. I don't know what the future is of content and entertainment. It's a really volatile space right now. I don't feel like a good YouTuber. And I'm not saying that with the hope that someone is going to go, no, you're great, you're one of my favourites. That's not what I'm asking for this, right? I feel like if I was a better YouTuber, I would narrow down, segment my content, scale further, get better at jumping on trends. I would actually be better at what I do. And I could do it, but I don't know if I want to. And just, we're the first generation that is going to be spending our lives online. If you spend 8 hours on an electronic device, a phone, a laptop, computer, whatever, if you spend 8 hours a day, you spend a third of your life. If you live to 90, you spend 30 whole years doing that. Just, yeah. Doesn't that feel weird to you? You know, to say this is the worst generation to exist or everything's gone wrong. No, because generations before us spent that same amount of time in record shops listening to music or deeply engrossed in a book. At the end of the day, media is a form of entertainment and we're just in a different phase of it now. It's a lot more easy access and it's a lot more overstimulating, but there's always been issues with balance with human beings. I don't think we're the first generation to experience this. What I'm concerned with is it's easy to profit off of it more now than ever before, and you can get hooked on it more than you could ever before. You know, as a content creator, I do need to make sure I benefit from the platform one way or another, because I can't keep doing what I'm doing if I don't. But I've still got to make sure that I'm the main benefit and that YouTube isn't. I want to make sure that I build videos that people enjoy watching, but I don't want the reason that people enjoy watching them is to be because they can't look away and that they're so retentive you can't miss it. That doesn't feel good long term, because then I just become Mr. Beast in a cardigan, and who wants that? Nobody. Instead of harping on about content concerns, what I will do is finish this up with, I suppose, my plans. Although they are very loose plans, I will talk about my plans for the next 6 months, you know, to the end of the year. I plan to continue Claudie TV, as I always have. I might try some content here and there. I used to do, like, tier lists and quizzes and all that kind of stuff. The reason I stopped doing them is because I started the Patreon, I became more of an established reaction YouTuber, and I felt it was therefore my duty to just do reactions. Anything else felt like I was detracting from what people expected of me, and so I stopped doing them. Maybe reacting to different kinds of content or talking about things I also enjoy outside of TV shows, or doing a bit more about the behind the scenes and the making of, that'd be really cool. And just enjoy it, just relax into it, film, do the best I can, and hopefully, you know, people enjoy it too. That's the first plan for Claudie TV. Claudie Corner, I honestly don't know. Whatever it may be, I just want to enjoy the content. Try stuff, test things. I know a lot of people would want me to just do card opening after card opening. One, I don't have the budget for it. Two, it would actually get really boring for me. Like, the excitement is building up to opening a pack and savouring it and enjoying it. I don't want to be that person that just flicks through cards, because what's the point? So I think more content around things I enjoy about collecting, and I suppose a sustainable side of it. I'm not even sure what that's going to be yet, but something along those lines. Gaming, I will continue as and when I find games that I really want to play. And then, yeah, I'm happy to do more content like this, just sitting down, talking, sharing things. This is probably, analytics-wise, the most viewed content that I make, but it's also the content, I suppose, that makes me the most nervous and apprehensive, because I always want to make sure I'm coming across the right way. And I've done like 3 videos, including this one, about YouTube, and I never really know what else to talk about. I obviously don't want to share too much of my own life and personal things. I'm sure you'll understand why, and it's because you obviously have to create a divide between your audience and your own life and yourself. But I'm happy to talk about other things, my perception on things, and just share stuff every now and then. That's like, I'm more than happy to do more of that. If you had any other ideas, or you think there would be an area of content that I haven't looked into yet that you think I could be good for, or, you know, there's something there that you think I could enjoy, comment it below. I'm like always open to ideas. Doesn't mean I'm going to take them on, but I'm always looking for advice, and, you know, just share how you feel about YouTube and the platform and content as a whole. There'll probably be things, as I stop recording, there'll be things that I should have said or could have said, and there'll be lots of other things that come to mind, but I feel I've got everything said today that I wanted to. You know, as a YouTuber, I'm doing my best. It could be better, and I could do more, but I'm doing what I can. And the problem is, YouTube as a platform doesn't always favour that. But I'm sure as an audience, you do. So, you know, any thoughts you have, or your perception on things, share it. I'm always open to hearing from the comments, and I read through them as and when I can. I'm going to head indoors because the sun's come out, and the weather's shifted, and it's now very warm. So I'm going to go and grab some lunch, and I'll see you for the next one. Toodles.